My name is Nick Hill. I love to lift heavy things, go skiing with friends, and climb rock walls. Over the years, I've learned a thing or two about fitness and self-improvement, and have wanted to share those lessons with the world. I hope you enjoy.
And I think, I have a few notes and a few guiding prompts and everything for us, but I think you're killing it, dude. I think I
Thank you.
found your YouTube first through Adonis School. I was part of Hamza's program, and I'm kind of on my own fitness journey. So I'm Indian, and I saw you kind of pop off, and I was like, who's this guy? He's using the same thumbnail for every video, But then I looked into your videos. I saw the traction you're getting, especially with the shorts, and I think your niche, you're tapping into the Indian market a little bit now. And we'll get into this, but I face some of the same challenges you talk about in your videos. Having that little bit of inferiority complex of I'm a brown guy, but I don't feel the same amount of respect. Balancing that Indian identity with that American identity, and also building muscle as an Indian, it seemed a little bit harder, especially with the diet that our parents and our grandparents and everyone teaches us. So that's why I started relating with your content, and that's when I was like, okay, yeah, there's something here. This dude has a message, and he's consistent as fuck. Even I saw your video earlier today with the hat. I don't know if that was recorded today, but I was like, yeah, he's going for it, consistent. And you already have 742 subscribers. Let me share screen so the audience can see your channel real quick. I have it up here. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So just for my audience, I make content on stoicism and self-improvement, but one of my main playlists that I'm working on right now is the Stoic Fitness Protocol. And Nick Hill is a great candidate for both the Stoic Fitness Protocol and also the Stoic Reset Protocol podcast that I'm starting right now. And this is his channel. When did you start this channel, by the way?
So I mainly started uploading daily. I want to say in March.
Right.
I've obviously, you can see looking back, I was experimenting with videos back in 2020, I want to say, or 2021.
Right.
And I made this 10,000 calorie challenge.
Right.
Because at this point when I recorded this video, bro, I was running my ass off. So the Nick Hill that you see on YouTube right now, I talk about muscle building. I talk about building an aesthetic physique. But at this point, this kid's lean as fuck. He's 161 pounds.
And how tall are you?
I've been running 250 miles a month at this point.
Right.
So I'd lost a fuck ton of weight. I went from 205 pounds to 161 pounds in 3 months or so, or 4 months, something like that. Something crazy fast. Right. And I did that because I was honestly restricting calories too much. Restricting calories on top of running a fuck ton, Some days I was running 10, 12 miles.
Right.
And that got me to the point where I was watching these videos online.
Yeah.
Fucking eating challenges or whatever. And my cravings were so bad because I'd probably given myself a eating disorder. Right. That I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to make a 10,000 calorie challenge. And that was the first video that I ever uploaded. And looking at it, I mean, it did pretty well, 600 views for a brand new channel. That's just kind of goes it was kind of a trend or whatever. But
yeah,
I posted here and there during COVID, but never really got consistent with it. Mm-hmm. And that's just because I didn't have a goal with YouTube. I just liked making videos. It's my personality. I'm very extroverted. I like talking. And I just wanted to share a bit of my personality. It's funny, my mom always said, you should be posting consistently, you will pop off. But I never followed through. But now I've really been on this train of, I don't know, you can find when I started posting about building muscle, but it's maybe 2 months ago or something. I've always had that niche, but consistently every single day building muscle started maybe 2 months ago.
And I noticed this thumbnail, I noticed you had a popular video with this thumbnail style as well. The one I have on right now. I think these were starting to pop off. And that's when you came into my radar, because I was doing the Stoic fitness protocol and I'm an Indian YouTuber, and then I go to another YouTube account, like I go to like one of my other accounts, like my emails, and you got recommended to me based on my videos. And then I noticed, oh shit, wait, this guy's in Adonis school. And then I like hit you up. So so yeah, that's crazy. But you can hear me okay, right?
Yeah, 100%.
What are your physical stats? What did you start with on your fitness journey, and what are you at right now?
Yeah, so my fitness journey's been way all over the place because, I mean, as with any journey, and as with any journey, like where you're really trying to make extreme progress, get to the top, and regardless of where you start from, there's always ups and downs, and that is simply like the way that life works. Like progress in life is never linear. Sometimes you're exponentially going up, and sometimes you crash down, and sometimes you're going on a path, and it's always changing, right? The world is in constant flux. So for my journey, I started skinny fat, 142 pounds.
Whoa.
I want to say maybe 5'5". Okay.
How old were you?
And what's that?
How old were you at that
14.
point? 14. Okay.
Yeah. So it makes sense. Like I'm around 5'10" right now. So
Got you.
I still had some weight to grow, but I definitely did not have like that aesthetic physique. Especially like looking around, and you mentioned this before, but those white kids, for some reason, already have fucking six packs at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there with my gyno and my belly,
Right.
going home and eating rotis and shit. But
Relatable.
yeah, 142, and then I joined the football team. And this is crazy, unprecedented. Indian kids don't join the football team.
Where are you based of, by the way? You said Central Time. What, you don't have to mention.
I'm in Dallas, Texas right now.
Okay, and were you always living there?
No. I've lived all over the place. I grew up in Los Angeles though. So for the first 20 years of my life, I was in Los Angeles, California.
OC, Orange County?
No, literally LA.
Really? So you were
Yeah.
a city high school kid? Like what part?
Suburbs, but yeah.
Suburbs. Got you.
Yeah. So it's a small place. It's called the Palos Verdes Peninsula. So
Palos Verdes. Yes, heard of that. Yep.
yeah, that's where I grew up. So very nice place, and I was privileged, and I honestly got very, very lucky that I went to a small school.
Right.
And the reason is because there was not like the element of like, oh, I have to try out. And if I had to try out for a team, I would have gotten cut, right?
Right.
But this was more of an environment where like anyone can join. Like, yeah, I mean, if you're asked, you're not going to play, but at least you can be on the team and be in that environment and start training. And that's where I picked up the training bug, because this was the first time where I was like, oh, well, if I input X, I can get Y. And I saw that, I was like, oh, well, if I do more lifting weights and I do more field work than the rest of everyone else, yeah, I'm like 400 steps behind them, but I can accelerate faster than they are. Because they've started at this point where it's like, they already have so much talent. They don't have that drive, that pain that is pushing them to accelerate as fast as I am.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. You mentioned that, these white kids, these, African-American kids, Latino kids, I'll tell you my background in a sec, but like, when I went into high school, I moved from India. I used to live in Bangalore, India. And at age 15, I moved as a complete Desi kid to Albany, New York. So then, yeah, dude, I was a soccer kid. I used to play soccer, but no nutrition, no like physique, just kind of like fat. And I walk in and these like Latino kids, these like white kids, African-American kids, they're so developed already. So what do you think makes them have these physiques from age, let's say 10 to 15? Like what gives them that step up that we don't have?
Yeah, so this is a very, very simple answer. Like it's
right.
By no means complicated. It boils down to two things. One, Indian people have a carbohydrate heavy diet, right? If you pick any random household in India, they're gonna have like a thali full of like veg food, right?
Right.
And like dal, roti, rice, sabji, whatever. What is the common factor in all those foods? It's high carbohydrates and it's cooked in a shit ton of oil, right? And I'm not even saying that fat is bad for you. I think fat's great, but when it's only fat and carbs, and this is a statistic, On average, Indians consume protein as 7% of their diet,
Mm,
right?
right.
I don't know what the statistics are for kids growing up in America, but you go into any American household, they're typically having meat every single day, whether it's
Right.
salmon or some other fish, or it's they're eating burgers and hot dogs and like having a burger with the processed bread and all that shit, it's not good for
Hmm.
you. But at the end of the day, they're eating beef, right? So that's the first thing. The diet is very different. They get a lot more meat. Number two is that, and this is a perfect example. I'll use my girlfriend to
Yeah.
talk about this because she's white.
Hmm.
Her parents are both very, very highly educated. They value education. Her dad is a high school teacher.
Right.
But you know what? They never pushed her to be like A plus student in school. Like me, and I'm sure you relate to this. Our
100%.
parents are on top of our head. Be like, well, why aren't you studying? Like the moment you get home, like you're studying, reading 10
Right.
hours a day. Like it's crazy. But
Yeah.
for her, it's like she was in 5 different sports.
Mm,
It would drive her from one soccer team to the next soccer team to the next soccer team. And what do you know? That it's all about like the body adapts to the stimulus that it receives. So at a young age, the stimulus that we're giving our body is sit down and read. So we get very smart. We're able to learn fast. We're able to pick things up. We're able to read well and talk well sometimes. And these white kids, they're going to basketball practice and football practice and baseball practice, and then they're going home and having red meat. It's like when you put it that way, it's obvious why we were undeveloped, and these kids are able to run fast, move well, and have like a good, like healthy looking body as like a child should look.
Definitely. Agreed. One thing I will kind of, and this can be an ongoing kind of devil's advocate thing. I agree with the exercise point. I do agree with, the protein intake as well. I'll tell you one thing though. I am completely vegetarian. My family is Bengali, but like, from India, but I grew up in the South, and I have actually managed to build a pretty decent amount of muscle, but I'm not vegan. I do consume animal protein. I consume milk, dairy, paneer. What's worked best for me now is basically tracking my macros, making sure I'm in a caloric deficit or surplus, depending on how I'm trying to build my body, and also consuming a ton of protein through milk and dairy sources and lentils, right? So do you think, given this, and we'll come to, I actually have a point here where I want you to make a workout diagnosis or physical fitness diagnosis for my fitness goals, because I think you're way more educated on this than me. But do you think it's possible for a desi dude or a girl to do this, having the same level of exercise, but not have the carnivore diet, but instead a vegetarian diet with a high amount of protein? Because you're Punjabi, right? Pehlwans, they get big by consuming a lot of paneer and dairy and ghee, so what is your opinion on that?
100%. So there are, if you look, you can just look up on the internet, vegetarian bodybuilder, vegan bodybuilder.
Right.
It's crazy. Even some vegan guys can get jacked as hell.
Right.
Now, is it the easiest way to build muscle? No. Obviously, like you're gonna build the most muscle if you eat meat. Does that mean that you cannot build muscle without eating meat? Absolutely not. And this is what I do in my videos, because I'm talking to all Indian people, not just meat eaters. I'm talking to non-veg and veg. And this is the diet that I lay out. I say, if you are a non-veg, your diet is meat, eggs, paneer, nuts, fruit, dairy, and then like for acceptable, like common India foods, you can eat like dal, rajma, chana, like that kind of stuff, right?
100%.
And then sabji, it's optional. If you like sabji, then eat it, just cook it in half the oil that you normally do.
Right.
Then, if you're a vegetarian, just take away the meat and eat a few more eggs or have a little bit more paneer. It's actually so simple. The diet is almost identical. It's just like subtract meat, add eggs, add paneer, add milk, add dahi, add nuts. More of those things, and you naturally already will be, because you got to eat.
So question with that, follow-up question is, do you think the fat content now, if that's what I've been doing, the fat content now with a vegetarian diet where we subtract the meat and we add in, I don't even eat eggs, and I add in that dairy sources, do you think that's gonna make the physique look a little bit different? Like I think you mentioned in one of your videos, I still have a little bit of gyno and I work out 6 days a week and I'm on a cut, you know?
Yeah.
So do you think the absolute physical optimal solution is then to try to optimize, or do you think it'll up the stores a little bit too with that diet?
So, okay. So this is a very common misconception. And there's
Hmm.
there's two things I want to respond to there.
Yeah.
But the first thing is that eating dietary fat does not increase your fat,
Okay.
right? And honestly, like if you know how calories work,
Right.
so per gram of food, so we're talking about pure weight,
Hmm.
each gram of fat has 9 calories.
Right.
Each gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories.
Hmm.
So, like, right off the bat, most people stop there and they're like, oh my God, fat has more calories. We have to eliminate all the fat. But in reality, if you're smart about it,
Hmm.
if you know how much fat you're eating, you actually can very intelligently store energy on your body. And recommendation for you, people who are eating vegetarian should experiment with intermittent fasting.
That's what
This
I do,
is
bro.
key.
Yes.
Yes, 100%. Because if you're on I'm on a carnivore diet, so the complete opposite.
Right.
Right. I don't need to intermittent fast because my body is always in ketosis. But
Right.
ketosis is so amazing at turning the muscle building like pathways in your body on that if
Yeah.
you just fast for 16, 18 hours a day, and then even if you ate the regular fucking Indian diet, which I don't recommend, but even if you did, you're getting so many benefits from just fasting: increased testosterone, increased human growth hormone, increased HGH, increased fat burning. So you're getting so many good things. So no, fat does not create more fat.
Okay.
The other reason why fat is absolutely critical is because fat contains an ingredient called cholesterol. Now, cholesterol is very important because it is the building block of our steroid hormones. Now, our steroid hormones are testosterone, human growth hormone. If you want to build muscle, you need those hormones.
Right.
And if you want to make those hormones, you need cholesterol. And cholesterol comes from fat. Now, the common response to that is that, hey, Nikhil, cholesterol causes heart disease. It's been in my family. My mom has diabetes. My dadima has hypertension. Like, I can't fuck with the cholesterol.
Right.
Now, there's a difference between blood cholesterol and dietary cholesterol. Dietary cholesterol is what we're eating. That's what we want. Now, the blood cholesterol, that comes from a very different reason. And it's because it actually comes from a high sugar diet and high carbohydrate in general, but especially if you're having high sugar. And the reason that is because when we have sugar, our body breaks it down into something called glucose, which is its basic form. Then in order for glucose to go from the bloodstream and go into either our muscles or our liver or fat, those are the three places it can go. In order for that to happen, the body creates something called insulin. And insulin does its job. It moves the glucose to the muscles, to the fat stores. When you're having a high sugar diet, our body will start to produce more insulin than we actually need, and it will develop something called insulin resistance. Because there's constantly insulin in the body starts to become friendly with insulin. It's like,
Right.
oh, okay, well, you're just kind of hanging out here all the time. We're not going to become as efficient in using you. So then the body doesn't like that though.
Right.
We need to have lower insulin levels because insulin blocks the production of human growth hormone and IGF-1.
Right.
Now we know that we need human growth hormone. And if insulin is blocking the production, the body is very smart. It's going to do everything that it can to lower insulin. And its response is the liver secretes something called LDL cholesterol into the bloodstream. Are you seeing the dots connect now? Because we have high insulin, the liver secretes LDL cholesterol because that has a direct effect on lowering insulin.
Right.
But now the problem is that we have LDL cholesterol in our bloodstream, where LDL is known as bad cholesterol. All that LDL sitting in our blood creates arterial plaque buildup. And that is why India has the highest rates of diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease, and it's always on the rise every year. Because of the the high carbohydrate, which leads to high LDL.
So if
that's why
you were-
fat's good for you.
So no, yeah, 100%. So you're saying that if I had a low carb diet where the insulin would not spike that much, but I had stuff like dahi and paneer and those things, then that would not have the causation that would be if I had a high carb diet but a low fat diet. So fat is not the villain here, it's carbs, right?
Yeah, and I'm not saying you should have a low carb diet. I'm more saying balanced, right?
Right.
It's so important to have enough dahi and enough paneer and milk and all that, because when you have more protein and fat, and then you have the carb, and all three are balanced, which is very doable for an Indian person,
right?
Then it actually lowers the level of insulin that our body produces, because the body digests the food at a slower pace. Right. Protein and fat slow down digestion. Now, if you just eat a bunch of carbs, then glucose is going through the roof, and we're getting all of those bad effects that I just described. But if we have the fat, have the protein, especially the protein, we need both, then we're going to lower that insulin response and be a lot healthier.
That's a very good point. And I think for me to kind of do that, make that quick switch, like you said, I think it's going to be a lot easier. But for people like our parents or our grandparents who followed that diet, and my parents eat meat, but let's just paint a vegetarian example, if they were to make that change to try to lower the arterial, what did you call it?
I said arterial plaque buildup. It's like plaque in the arteries, right? That's what, so blood can't flow, and then we have high blood pressure.
Right. Yeah. So if we had to make a shift in their diet for our parents, what would you recommend doing that to bring the carb, fat, and protein numbers to a balanced level to try to reduce the damage that has been caused by the arterial plaque, like you said?
So I feel the answer depends on whether you live with your parents or not. Now, neither of us live with do you live with your parents?
No, I live in Chicago. They live in Virginia.
Right.
So.
And are they still in India?
No, they're in Virginia now. We moved over as a family when I was 15. So.
Oh, right. Yeah. So both of us don't live with our parents, so we cannot have a direct influence on them. However, we can still, the best way to get people to change is not to tell them, do this, do that. It never works. The best way to do it is to educate them. But the problem is sometimes that our parents don't want to listen to their children. They raised us from a young age, and they were always the teacher. Now they don't want to see the roles reversed sometimes. So what an effective technique that I have found is I find the doctors or the influencers that my mom already likes, or I find someone that I think she would like, kind of fits her vibe. And then I send her those videos. I'm like, hey, watch this. Every Indian mom is on WhatsApp. So she'll click the short on WhatsApp and watch it. She'll be like, oh, glucose, like diabetes. Oh, like stuff like that, slowly planting seeds.
Right.
Then after a little bit, they're more open to the idea because they've watched a million videos on it that I have been secretly planting for them. Then after that, I'm like, hey, well, I heard this thing. I've been reading a lot about it. It's really interesting. And I don't tell them like, oh, you should do this. I'm just like, this is so interesting. Like, I just want to talk to you about it because I'm passionate. And then our parents, they perk up because they like to hear what we're passionate about, for the most part. So then I tell them the things. I'm like, and I learned this and I learned that. And it's so cool. And it's so exciting. And then then they start to think for themselves, well, what could I do? My mom isn't going to go from her typical like making Indian food every day to eating carnivore diet. That's not going to happen. But with my influence, she started to eat a little bit more chicken than she did before, right? She's starting to eat she would normally not eat red meat, but now she's eating a little bit of lamb because she grew up like in India, they eat lamb and mutton and goat. So when I visit her, those are the things that I buy. And then they're like, okay, well, these things taste good. That was the biggest shift. My mom was like, oh, it actually tastes pretty good. Like, I'll eat it. And then the other thing is just like, hey mom, like, don't make rotis every day. Like you don't have to have rice with every meal. You don't have to have roti with every.
It's the carb limitation. That's what's important there.
And,
Gotcha.
and they like sabji. And I personally not a fan of sabji. I think it tastes good, but I don't like it.
Because it's mainly potatoes, a bit of vegetables, and mainly the base is always carbs, right? Carb heavy and a lot of oil. That's what makes it tasty. And the misconception is people think it's healthy because it's not, you know, like cheese, or like it's not like one of those like tasty stuff, but it's cooked in so much oil and it has so many carbs that it's doing the same thing that you said, which is raising the insulin, right?
Yeah. And if you love the sabji, like random example, let's say like bindi is your favorite sabji.
Yeah.
Right? You want to eat that every day. You cook it in 4 pounds of fucking soybean oil, like the worst thing ever.
Right.
But if you're eliminating the roti that is covered in ghee and you're having the bindi instead, I think that's a good trade-off because it's a step in the right direction. At least like bindi has like vitamins and like fiber and stuff.
Right.
Like eating straight, it's like eating straight bread or rice is not as good as eating an unhealthy vegetable, or even a healthy vegetable, which is even better.
Right. And I think one thing I wanted to kind of bring to the audience that you said, you proposed a beautiful solution to this age-old problem of how do we get our parents to be more healthy, but you didn't just give a fitness solution. The first solution you gave was a content solution. That's how powerful content is in modern day society, where like people, like you said, people like us, we resonate with the Hamzas of the world, or the Tates, or like, you know, fucking Mr. Beast or whatever. But like our parents will resonate. Like I'm dating an Indian girl right now, like from India, like international student. She resonates with Beer Biceps, you know, who is like this.
My mom loves that guy.
Exactly. So the solution, it's a beautiful solution. It's not just force feeding them shit that'll work for like gym bros, you know, it's giving them the right content as medicine, and then using psychology of like, hey, you'll be proud of your kid, right? Well, your kid is telling you to do this. Then it's like a 3-step process of like the right content, the right psychology, and then the right mindset. And with those 3 things, we can really look after our parents, which is a good thing to do, you know.
100%. That it's honestly incredible, like how telling someone versus just being excited and passionate about something, you have so much more influence.
Definitely.
You mentioned something a while back that I just want to respond to.
Yeah.
You had said that like, yeah, my eating dialed in. I'm going to the gym 6 days a week. I'm on a cut. I'm losing weight. I'm looking good, right? Yeah, look at you. Like you're clearly proud of the way that you look. Yeah. Which is fucking awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
That is a mindset that most Indian guys do not get to experience. So I'm stoked for you that you get to have that. And I think it's my mission as well as part of your mission to help more Indian men have this positive mindset where they're proud of themselves.
100%.
You said, I still have the gyno. And listen, bro, I have it too. And the cold, hard truth is that it never goes away. It's impossible because it's not fat. Like you have chest fat, but then gyno is something different. It is literal. It just pains me to talk about it, but it's
female breast tissue.
Breast tissue.
Bro, I called it. I saw your latest video, but female breast tissue.
Literal female breast tissue. And that grows during puberty. And the reason is honestly, the reason why so many Indian kids get it is because they're just not getting enough protein. And their body is low testosterone because of it. Right? And when you have low testosterone and high estrogen, and you're developing, the body is going to use what it has. If the testosterone was here and the estrogen is down here, then no gyno. But estrogen's here and testosterone's here. And that's why I had gyno. That's why you got gyno. It's because we were studying and we weren't playing sports. Like
100%.
Active movement, running around, being in social environments too. Running around with your friends. You get 2 testosterone benefits. One, you're with your friends, so you feel like you're in a community, and physiologically, like being in a community, it's like almost like you're going to like hunt an animal, right? But you're like hunting to hit the soccer goal, right? And then you're running around, so you're getting higher testosterone. And that's why none of the white kids or the black kids or the Latino kids like had it. The only kids, like white, black, whatever, who have gyno are the ones who are already fat. And then obviously their bodies are low testosterone because they're just fat as fuck. So that their body makes it. Did you see what I'm saying? My point about the
100%. Yeah, it's a development problem. It's not something, and it's almost a vestige of what we grew up with and the unhealthy habits that we inherited from childhood. So that's a very important, very cool, very logical and true way of looking at gyno. Dude, I got the free version of Zoom, so I'm gonna have to take a quick break and kill this recording, and I'll just restart the Zoom. I should have upgraded.
Usually makes you do a 10-minute break. But you know what? I can just pop open a Zoom call because I have the paid version.